Okay, good day everyone. Okay, I am Eka and I'm from Indonesia. Currently, I'm the Vice President of oGIP in Kazakhstan. Okay, right now, actually there will be an education system from our lovely talent management. And I got the topic about situational leaderships. Okay, and I know that every one of you know what is leaderships. Okay, leaderships is when you try to influence others and then your followers try to know what kind of your delegations to your team member. That's leaderships. Like you have your followers without you ask it. That's leaderships. And right now, situational leadership is kind of how can you know your team member really good? How can you notice your team member so you can act like the way you train your team member? That is situational leaderships. Okay, now let's start. Okay, in situational leaderships, we have 3 skills that we need to have. Okay, the first one here, diagnosis. The second one is flexibility. And the third one is partnering performance. You need to know these 3 skills because we will discuss about 3 skills later on the slide. Okay, now move. Okay, in here, if you are a leader right now, I want you to assess your team member. Try to know deeper your team member one by one. And then try to act like what I said to you in the slide after this. Okay? Try to know your staff, try to know your followers right now, one by one. Try to know their personality, try to know what kind of behavior that they have. And then I want you to try this slide. Okay? Okay, in here we will talk about competence and also commitment. So in your staff, you need to know your staff, like the competence of your staff, and also the commitment of your staff. The first one, willingness and ability to look at situations and assess others' development needs. That's situational leaderships. Second one is development level is goal or task specific, not an overall rating. Okay, this is the definition of situational leaderships, and this is the definition of development level. Okay. First task that you need to know is subordinate development level. Okay, here you have 3 points, which is high, moderate, and also low. High means that they kind of commitment, also their competence in high level, and this is the middle level, medium level, and this is really low level, low level. Okay, you got it. They need developing, they need development, more development. And here they need like kind of development. Okay, you got the point. Okay, development level of flowers. And after this, let's take a look in here. Okay, in here I already work for development level. Okay, the first one is development level 1. We call it your team member have low competence and also high commitment. Low competence means like they still need to know everything. They don't really know about the knowledge of your department. They don't really know the knowledge of your the things that you want to do, and it means that low competence. But the point here, they have very good commitment. Okay, when you ask them to do everything, they want to do everything. Okay, got it. And we call it enthusiastic beginner because they're really enthusiastic about your organizations. They really want to do it in your organizations. Actually, it's more about new member level. Because your new member somehow just really curious about our organizations, and then in here you need to directly point this stuff, and then this call it enthusiastic beginner. And now we move to the next level, which is development level number 2. What is this? Development number 2 is we call it disillusioned learner. Like they already kind of know a little bit knowledge, but it's not that much, and also they somehow have low commitment. What happened to low commitment? Because the first they have high commitment, and then in development level 2 they have low commitment. It can be happen because somehow your new member or somehow your member feel kind of boring with your stuff or feel kind of boring with everything that you do in organizations, and then they feel really want to leave the organizations really soon. That somehow happened, and you need to act like this after. Okay, I will show you how to act as a leader when you already know this for development. Okay, now we move to the development level number 3. Okay, development level number 3 is we call it capable but cautious performance. Okay, in here they have really good, not really good, but kind of good, from moderate to high competence. they already know somehow the knowledge in organizations, and the commitment is somehow it could be low, it could be moderate, and it could be high. Depends. Okay. And next, level number 4 is in high competence. Okay, in high commitment, self-reliant achiever, like they're really independent. Your team is really independent in here. Okay. Now you got it. Next. Okay, after you know the development level of your staff or your team member, and then now you need to ask 5 questions. First, ask these 5 questions to yourself, okay, and then ask these 5 questions to your staff and team member. For example, you are VP right now, you are Vice President right now. Ask these questions for yourself, for your own self first, and then ask these 5 questions to your staff after this. Okay, first questions. What is the specific goal or task? Okay, you ask yourself what kind of specific goal that you want to reach in your department or in your organizations. And then, how strong are the individual skills on a goal? Okay, firstly, you need to know how is your individuality to achieve this task. And after this, you ask your staff whether they really have strong skill to achieve the goal or not. The third one is how good are the individual's transferable skill. Transferable skill means like how can they spread the information, how can they take your information and then they make it wider, they spread information to other people. And the fourth question is how interested or enthusiastic is the individual. Okay, how really good they are, how really they curious about the organizations. And the last question is how confident or self-assured is the individual. Okay, why do you ask these questions? Because somehow confidence level will influence the actions of your team member. For example, you have really low confidence level of your team member, and then they don't want to speak with other people. They don't want to speak with your teammate, with the teammate. They don't want to speak with you because they feel really low confident. And here you need to know whether the confidence level is in low level or in high level. Okay. Okay, now let's take a look in here. Okay, I told you before, in levels development of D1, which have low competence and also high commitment, we call it enthusiastic beginner. Next. In D2, like this, we call it, they have some competence and also low commitment, and we call it disillusioned learner. Like this, okay, the pictures like this. And here, development number 3. They have kind of moderate to high competence and some of variable commitment. Somehow, okay? Variable commitment. We call it reluctant contributor. Levels of development number D4, high competence and high commitment. Peak performance. Peak performer. Okay, I told you before, the skill number 2 that we have is flexibility. In here, I will create how to be a really good leader after you know the development level of your team member. Okay? I'll try to flashback. You know the development level of your team member, D1 till D4, and then you need to know your own self how to be a really good leader for this development level. Okay, first style given by Tom Blanchard, growing out of combinations of supportive and directive behavior. Okay, here we focus on supportive and directive behavior. First one is directing style. The second one is coaching style. The third one is supporting style. And the fourth one is delegating style. Okay. Okay, here, let's take a look. Situational leadership model. Okay. I know that every one of you want to be a really good leader, right? So in here, I told you, you really need to do that with your staff, your team member, your follower. And then you need to know the kind of development. Again, I told you. Okay, here, before we move to this slide, we need to know what kind of definitions of this type. Okay, first one is directive behavior. What is directive behavior? As you can see here, directive behavior is telling and showing people what, when, and how to do by providing frequent feedback on result. Okay? Telling and showing. Point is telling and showing people in your staff, your team member, or your followers, what kind of activities they want to do. And when should they do it, and how to do it. How do you mean like showing them? And provide feedback, frequent feedback on result. So for example, your team member already do something, and you need to provide them like frequent feedback whether it's good or not. Okay? And next, supportive behavior. What is supportive behavior? In here is listening. Okay, listening. You need to be a really good listener in here. And then here, facilitating. Self-reliant, like you need to be really reliable person. And problem solving. When your staff, your team member have problem, you need to solve it together. And encouraging. You know, encouraging, like try to motivate them again and again. And involving others in decision making. Okay, you need to involve your staff, your team member in making decisions. Okay, now you got these 2 points: directive behavior and also supportive behavior. Okay, now we move to this situational leadership model. Okay, before we know about development level, which is we have D1 and D4, D1 till D4, and right now we will learn about how to be a really good leader for them, which is S1 to S4. Okay, here in S1, we call it directing, and we move here. S2 is coaching, S3 is supporting, S4 is delegating. Okay, in here, supportive behavior is around low until high. In directive behavior is low until high. Okay, supportive here when you listen to others. Directive when you try to tell people and showing them. Okay, you got it? Next. Okay, this leadership style I told you before. Directing style, the emphasis is in control and close supervision of the worker. Coaching style is the leader provides more explanations about what the job. Supporting style is there is a team approach between leader and the follower. With the leader emphasize support and follower. So like you support, and then delegating is the leader turns over responsibility to the worker. Turns over means like you give you have role right now, and delegating is like you move your role to your member, like you ask them to do everything that you need to do. Okay, now I told you already know this D1 to D4, and you also need to do like this. You need to do like this. You need to know like this. Okay, you need to know your team member development, and you need to do this one. Okay, first. Okay, see again. Okay, the first one, D1 level. Imagine your staff, your team member, your followers have this kind of level. They have low competence and high commitment. The point here, what you need to do as a leader, you need to give them, you need to be a really directing leader for them. Okay, I told you in previous slide what is directing. Okay, in here you give them high directions, and low supportive. High directions like give them really what to do, when to do, and telling them how to do it, everything. But low supportive, like they don't need listener because they only need to see you how you to do it. And this level, D2 level, when your staff, team member, and followers have this level, you need to be like this. Be leader with coaching style. You need to give them high directions, and high supportive. Okay? And D3 is your staff in this level, moderate and also high competence, but in low commitment. I told you when they in low commitment because somehow they really feel boring with your job, they really feel boring with everything that you ask them because it sometimes happens. And you need to be here, you need to be like this, you need to be supporting. And you need to you need to ask them, you need to listen to them, and then try to be really good for them, and then give them low directions because at this level they need directions, they need more listener. And the last level, high competence and high commitment. So in this level, there's really good one because in here you can delegate all of your jobs to your team member. Okay. For example, you want to make money for your department, for your organizations, and you have the staff with this level, which is they really have good competence and they really have high commitment for the organizations. So in here you can make your role, like give your role to them directly, because they don't need like this, they need directions because they already know everything here. Okay. Okay. And the third skill, the last skill in situational leaderships is partnering for performance. What is partnering for performance? I recognize 5 here, 5. In here, partnering performance, like what can we do in our team? The first one is short, regular one-on-one meetings with the individual. They need to have meeting like, for example, I'm your team leader, I need to have meeting with you, one or face to face, one by one. That's kind of that your team member need right now. And the second one is connect personal goals to organization goals. What does that mean? This point. Okay, before you have team member, you have staff, you have followers, and the first things you need to have is try to ask their personal goals. Okay, what they want to achieve in personal. After that, try to relate or connect their personal goals into the performance or organization goals. Okay, after you know their personal, what they need, what they want to achieve in the future, and try to relate it to the organization goals, because it will be really in between. You will really connect it to this. And the third one is get agreement on SMART goals. What does it mean, SMART goals? SMART goals in like marketing goals. Like you have goals in your organization. Of course, we have goals like what we do, what we want to do, what we want to achieve. These are goals. And then try to make agreement with them. After you know this, after you know the personal goals, and try to make agreement with them. Really smart. Like you can be listen them, you can ask them everything. And the fourth one is clear expectations about words and communication, etc. In here, try to make rules expectations about your job. Okay, and during your turn, during your leadership experience, you need to fulfill all of your expectations. Don't be someone who talk too much and make really good expectations, but during the term, you didn't do anything. That's really bad point of your leader. So the point is, you make really clear expectations, but also share it and follow the expectations. And maintain the communications. That is an important point. So don't let your staff, don't let your team member feel really bored with you because you don't maintain the communications with them, and you just go away from them, and then they feel, I don't feel like you are my leader. Somehow that's happened, and don't be like that. And the last one is constantly understand their development level and be flexible. Okay, that's the point. First, you need to know their development level you want to do for, I told you. And then you need to be really flexible, because that what is the mean of situational leaderships. Okay, situational leaderships, I told you again, when you are a leader and you can be really flexible for your team member based on their development. Because in here, you're a leader when you already be able to develop your team member. Okay, first, of course, you need to know about your personal development. But then after you know your personal development, you need to develop others. That's what is leader. Okay, first I wanted to share everything, or if you have any questions, you can ask me directly about these situational leaderships. Okay, now, this is a quote that I found it on the internet actually. An appropriate fit between the leader's behavior and style and their conditions in the situations. Okay? And the point is appropriate fit, like how to really be flexible of yourself, and then try to know your development, the development of your staff or your team member, and then make it really clear, make it really understandable, and then you really need to act like how the way they really feel reliable on you. That's the point of to be leader. Okay, I think that's all our lesson for today, our education for today, and I wish you enjoy our lesson for today. And after this, you can ask me every questions about student leaderships, how to be a really good leader after this, and also you can contact our beloved VPT and Minora. Thank you so much. See you.